Hello, Gymnasia youths, Gymnasia youngins, Gymnasiates. Let's do this thing. Hello, 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 hello. Gotta bring the evil microphone closer, maybe off camera slightly. Hey everyone, I am Mike Bifulco. I am Gymnasium's Director Technical Director for Gymnasium. Here with a Tuesday live stream to work on some of our Gatsby Plus TakeShape application for Gymnasium. Carrying on with some work that had been done in the past, and also just got through with a decently easy update of dependencies to the project, which I tend to do about once a week during development and less often in the real world. In the real world being once things have gotten into production, but it's helpful during development to stay on the edge of documentation and stuff like that. So I'm going to work on our implementation of the site today. We had discussed a bit in the last couple of weeks working through our hero. And today I'm going to go through a bunch of quality of life improvements, which shouldn't be too difficult to get done. So we're going to do some web font work, we're going to do some analytics work, we're going to do some tracking the segment, a bunch of different things, which should be happily fun to get through. So let's work on those. First thing I'm going to do is pull up gatsby.com. I think it's gatsbyjs.org.com. I believe they're the same website now. And we're going to look at a couple of different things here so I can talk you through this process. The installation of plugins and whatnot takes a little bit of time, but sometimes it's worth it to do on stream just to explain. So I wanted to see if there's a nice Intercom plugin for Gatsby, which basically just requires us to add an Intercom app ID, which will let us fire up our Intercom app for Gymnasium when we start up the project. So we're going to do exactly that. By adding this dependency here, yarn add some funny copy paste mess in there in our plugins and Gatsby config. We will add to somewhere near the top, probably near analytics makes enough sense, our Intercom app ID, which I can go and grab from hitherto. That is the app ID we use. It may not actually work because I think it might be domain limited, but that's okay. We also have a test environment which we can use. And in fact, I would be willing to bet there might be an environment variable solution to this that we could use as a workaround. But hey, that's an easy enough addition for Intercom on the site, which now means that Gymnasium on Gatsby will have our little Intercom chat widget, which you may have noticed is currently missing. We also should probably go in at some point and update the setting within, I think it's within Intercom, to colorize this to the correct orange that we're now using. And a couple others we'll do here. Segment.js is one that we use to add segment, which is our tracking software. And to do so, oh boy, wow, there's lots of config stuff for this, but it's pretty similar. We'll add this plugin once this one's done. And we can look at the config options while we're going through this. So obviously the resolve thing is pretty normal. We'll have a production write key, a development write key, which we will store in environment variables. We will track page, whether you want to include analytics.page automatically. We'll probably turn that on to true. Track page delay, we'll let it stay as 50. If you need to proxy events through a custom endpoint, add a host property. I don't think we do that. Delay load. Advanced feature, only use if you leverage client-side routing. Gatsby link, yes we do. So we're going to do delay load to true. Delay load time, we'll leave the default there, and then manual load, we will not be doing that. And then we can take a look at setting up some track events goodness. I'm kind of surprised there's not a hook implementation of this, because this sure looks like it'd be an easy hook to write. Maybe we'll write our own. That might be fun. Okay, let's add this. And we'll get the config in for this, and which we're going to grab from up here. Let me do it this way. Okay, so we have decided we're going to do a production key. Oh, this is really nice. Okay, so you know what? We're just gonna, because I want to keep these in environment variables. I guess we'll use both. Seems fair. Track page, we're going to set to true. Track page delay we'll leave as its default. We don't need a host. We are going to do delay load true. And we'll say okay. And then these we don't need. So I'm going to take out these. We'll get those keys in environment variables. Again, this is going to need to install. And while we're in here, I think we are going to write this track event hook, because that seems easy. Yeah, because it's going to complain about us using window.analytics, I think, otherwise. And this way we don't have to worry about a lint complaining every time we use window.analytics. So we'll write ourselves a little hook for that. Probably put it in utils here. We'll call it segment hooks.js. And we're going to do export const use track event. And that's going to be a function that takes options, and we'll call it name and options. Event name and options to be a little more clear. And basically we're going to run this. Actually, I don't know if this makes sense as a hook, maybe just as a utility instead. So what we might do, I'm gonna have to go blank for a second here while not go blank. I'm gonna have to black out my screen while I add segment to this to test out. But so we could set up a hook that basically returns a utility function to do this, which feels like overkill. I think instead we'll do track event.js and let's see. Like that. So it's exported in both ways. this should be easy enough. We'll do no, that's not how you check for window. Oh, let's look that up real quick. Gatsby JS check for window. Dear client, it is tax time. Let us put on focus assist here. Okay. Gatsby window is not defined. There we go. Type of window is not equal to undefined. Oh, I did have it right the first time around. And it's because it's a string. Let's try that. We're gonna try this, I think. Oh yeah, it should be a string. Okay. Great. And I'm just going to put a check for window.analytics. Check both of them. Then we'll fire that off, and now we can use track event wherever we need to. There's probably some lint checks that need to be done here. So let's do a yarn. Lint. It may yell at me a bit. No, okay, that's great. So let me switch to there. You can look at my silly face while I get this stuff set up. So what I'm doing right now, actually I can show some of it. That seems fair. I'm going to plumb through the app ID here and a few other things that will come from a process.env deal like this. So we'll do, let's see, process.env.segment production right key. That seems like a good name, good and descriptive. And we don't need that. We'll do process.env.segment dev right key. Even though it's doing the job of these here, I'd rather not put these in source control. Same with this. And I think we can do that. My goodness, sorry, that's my phone buzzing away that I bet you can hear. We want, let's see, we've got our TakeShape stuff there. I don't think there's any other, you know what, we'll put our Google Analytics bit in there too. Because we may as well. Analytics property ID. Okay, and now I'm going to go to just my webcam so I can get those things done, which they basically have to go into a .env file, which we don't. Check into source control, and where I will put all the requisite information. So our Google Analytics property, easy enough. Our Intercom app, which we actually have two Intercom app IDs because Intercom is nice in that they provide a test app ID, meaning you can essentially clone your environment as a test environment and run a test version on your developer, staging, whatever, your non-production setups. So I'm going to put the test app ID in here, and I'll even leave myself a comment. I know you can't see this, but just kind of trying to speak through what I'm doing because I know it's not visible right now. So one thing at a time here. And we'll do segment next, and we should be able to go and quickly check segment. Segment's nice in that it hooks up pretty simply and it's very, very easy to test. Intercom will also be obvious because it will just light up. We need to do our segment production rate key. And segment dev right key, which we can go and grab from Sagmol in a second. Sorry for the time-consuming nature of this. Basically, I want to show, what I'm hoping to show is that these guys are super easy to configure and handy to take advantage of, and we've been using them to pretty great success already with Gymnasium. I get my two-factor authentication going on my phone here. Oops. Okay. That says dev. That says production. Cool. We have Google Analytics set up. All right, so just gonna run the project here, make sure nothing blows up. Oops. And then we will get back to the old screen share. Yeah, actually I think we can go back to the screen share now. Okay, so I've added some things into some places. We got rid of, well, not got rid of, we added a bunch of environment variables, which I'll have to go and add to my Netlify environment. Okay, looks like we're up and running, and we should immediately see some new goodness here. Once it loads. If it loads, it should load. It sure looked like it was going to load. sometimes it takes a second try. Let's close that tab and reopen. Okay, let's see. Let's try restarting it. It's coming to life over here. Okay, let's try one more time. You'll click and load. I feel it this time. Is it possible that this would load? Somebody, anybody. The thing is that this was working 3 minutes ago. Oh man, sometimes just running the live stream software alongside my dev environment really just comes up the works. We gonna work this time? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so what do we got? Let's shut off my ad blocker for localhost. Don't know why I would be running it. Well, something's gone off the screen, but it is not intercom. It looks like it might be this section here. Okay, let's do some debuggery. I expected to see my intercom guy chop up there. We'll do a reload of the page. Oh, you know what? It might be what I was saying before, that intercom is only loaded in production and also limited by the domain which is calling it. But there's not a lot of options here. Okay. Okay. Yes. And what is intercom SPA? Include in development. Yeah, but those look about the same to me from a config standpoint. Let me just check my env here to make sure I've named everything correctly. I sure think I did. Okay, well, let's check for segment. Looks like that might be working. So we can test that with our debugger inside of segment. Yeah, hey, look, that's this page. So if I go now and load this page, will it continue to work? Who can never be sure? Let's see. Segment should be here, yes. Okay. Well, it's working-ish. I do expect to see more of those coming through, though. Ah. Okay. It's going a bit slow here, too. I don't know what the deal is with that. Courses. Looks like I need my courses page needs an SEO element added because there's no title there. That's great. Okay. So segment is hooked up. We should be able to even test our track event thing. Let's do that. So let me first. Sorry, I forget. I get so caught up when I'm streaming, I forget about my dual screen setup being important here. Let's try this track event on, no, first let's go to courses.js. Courses page, of course, is what I want. And this needs an SEO, right? Because I'm pretty sure we don't have a, yeah, we need an SEO added here. So now if I go to courses, let's just double check that. The tab should have a title. That's what I'm looking for. Courses, Gymnasium. Nice. Okay, on this courses page, let's just do a simple test. We're going to put a button at the top that says, after gym shorts, I'm just going to add a click me. We'll do like that. We're going to do and then we need to pull in our tracker that we wrote, which was inside of this here track event. So we're going to do import track event from and then we'll say track event testing, and we probably don't need to pass any more details into it to test it. Using exported name as identifier for default export. Okay. You can complain a little bit less. There's our button. So let's go into our debugger again. What we're going to look for is an event pop in here that doesn't just say page when we click on this. Might be a second or two behind. It might not work. Okay, let's drop a debugger line in here. Oops. We have our window object. It's possible that I need more than just a name. Oops. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Fine, let's do options passed in as undefined. Is that so? Doesn't look undefined to me. We'll try it again. Well, there we go. Strange that that's not coming through, because that's the API. Analytics.track, give it a name, and give it some metadata. Oh, we might do this eventually too. Okay, actually I like that. We'll get to that. Looks like there's a queue of things here that maybe just hasn't been pushed yet. I don't know why I'm not seeing that here. Maybe I'm just calling that wrong. Seems strange to me. So I know sometimes localhost throws a wrench in that, so maybe it's worth testing in production with a full build, whatever you want to call that. Is it possible that this prevent default is doing it? I don't know, but we can try. What's weird is that that is 8 minutes old at this point, and I have for sure loaded this page a bunch of times since then. For sure, for sure. And I don't really know why none of that's coming through. Okay, well, we're gonna try that as a with a production build at some point. Fairly certain that should work straight through though. So let us rip out that debugger. Yeah. And let's look at Intercom next, because I don't know why that isn't coming up. As near as I can tell, it should. The nice thing about Intercom, at least, is that if this ends up being frustrating to do with the plugin, it's very easy to do as a just strict embed on the site with our HTML.js, but it shouldn't be that hard. Goodness, this is going slow though, huh? Okay, waiting for nothing. You know what? We're going to reset the dev environment because I feel like because I stopped it is why. Didn't realize I did that. Hey, this is cool. That's a new addition to the output from Gatsby. Total nodes 84, site page nodes 8. Ugh. Building. Okay, we got our page back. That's good news. So let's see about. You know, we can look at the source for the Intercom plugin because it's very likely that it just doesn't build in develop mode. Oh dear, yeah, and actually it looks like this one is the more supported one based on recent updates. Let's look at the issues here. Publish a new release. Yeah, okay, we're going to switch plugins. That's an easy answer, which I'm happy with. Sometimes, you can see the mistake I made here is that I went by download count, but it really just seems like this new guy is getting up to speed. So we're going to do kill this, we're going to do a yarn remove that. Ugh, Yarn remove. Gatsby plugin intercom. Yarn add. Gatsby plugin intercom spot. You hear a cat playing with a bag on the floor here. Oop. Oh. I need to run this like a bash command, everyone. And so, since that's installing and uninstalling, we can update our Gatsby config. Config. To use the correct plugin now, which will be intercom-spa. We will do options, app ID, include in development, delay timeout. Okay, we already have an app ID. We're going to include it in development, sure. And delay timeout, that's probably the default. So let's see if we can get away with not including that. Optional number of milliseconds. Yeah, okay. Delay timeout, we'll set it to 0. Great. Lovely. We'll start that because it's handy. Let's see what this issue is about while we're in here. How can I add new options? So to circle back on that, what I believe we were seeing before is what I guessed is that they weren't including intercom in development environments. I'm not sure why you wouldn't want to include it unless you don't use, actually if you don't use the test app in intercom, I guess it could get confusing. Your developers could be sending bogus events and whatnot up to your production intercom environment. I guess that's the right word. But in our case, we have things cordoned off pretty well, and I can play around in our test environment all I want. Do the rest. It's my cat playing with a reusable bag on the floor. Okay, we we've added in our dependency. We can run the thing again. And with some luck, okay, let's see. So let me learn from my prior mistakes and close this one. Open this one. Anything? Anything? Intercom? Hello? You know, after all this, it's also possible that I've embedded the wrong intercom ID. Yep, well, the undefined will do it. Okay, process.env.intercom app ID is returning nothing. So let me be right back on you and take a look at those. Process.env intercom underscore app underscore ID. We're getting an undefined. Okay, well that will do it. But everything here looks like it matches up, I guess, is my only thing. Yeah, weird. Okay, I'm gonna try a change and then reset it, and we'll see what happens. Things have been reset. Let's find out. I thought I heard the cat in here somewhere. Okay. still undefined. What did I miss here? Maybe this syntax is different for this, excuse me, for this updated plugin. Okay, resolve. Gatsby plugin intercom spa. Yes, it is different. What a but app underscore ID. Who in the JavaScript world does sentence case? What do we call that? Schema case? Underscore case? What is that called? I don't know what that's called. Very uncommon to see in JavaScript for descriptors for left side of the things. I know it's kind of funny that they're used here. But at least that's an easy answer. Ooh, excuse me. Did we do it? Survey says comments, intercom. Okay, we have an intercom app. It is embedded on the page. It is on the upper left. Z-index, -1, position, absolute, important. Okay, so there's probably some intercom embed configuration stuff we need to do. Intercom for the web, installation. You can use this using the respond code snippet, which will enable. Okay, well, let's just see if here, if that does the trick. It is booted. Shutdown, update, hide, show. I thought it was show. Oh, I did open. Okay, so it's there. There is, but where is the widget? Super strange. Okay, that might be a configuration deal, which we can work through, but that's good. So that's working. Yeah, that's working. And now if I loaded up our intercom, I could see myself as a visitor currently. And once we have our logged in metadata, I can pass in some user information. So all of that is doable via window.intercom, which is great. So we've added segment, we've added intercom, we've added Google Analytics. Those are the majority of the tools we use for tracking here. Yeah, and there's additional config that could be done. I'm honestly just a little bit confused why it's not showing up. That's all right. Let's not sweat it. Let's not sweat it for now. I have a feeling I've over or under simplified something here. The nice thing is that it's there, so we'll be able to crack that thing open. I would like to figure out what is widening the page. I think it might be this. It does not appear to be that. It appears to be, let's try this. Okay, Bootstrap strikes again. That is a familiar problem that we can work through. Where is that auto coming from? Let's see this again. That might be on. That is indeed where it's coming from. So if I set that to 0, that's not good. It's not, that is, I'm making it all worse. That was the wrong element. Let's look again. If I inspect this guy, this is the div surrounding my guy here. So if I set its margin left to 0, that's right, to 0. That's not what we want. Let's go into here. No, that's the wrong one. That's a little better. Is that a little better? No, that fixed actually nothing. Tricky. Okay, so we're running into a situation where we've got a overriding margin set in two places. Because this guy has a max width of 100 VW, which is, in this case, 2,327 and a quarter pixels. Weird. And so is that. I think what's going on here is that it's just too wide. There's a weird pixel amount. Okay. So we should do some file updates here before I start breaking things further. Don't want that there. So we'll say add segment intercom GA. Add SEO to add title to this page. Great. Should have been doing these along the way. That was a test. This I'm gonna undo because it did not fix anything for me. We can work through that here momentarily. Yes, great, okay. Okay, everyone. So let's make sure this courses page still loads because I did just modify some of the content on it. Sure does. We've got our beautiful fonts and all that. Lovely. Okay. Good. So we still need to work this out. I would love to know what is too wide here. I have a feeling it's this here, though. Oh. Hi, cat. Oh, yeah, you're stepping on my keyboard. Hello. Oh, boy. Hi, cat. No, don't step on that keyboard. Okay, let's refresh the page. Sorry about that. All right. So, I believe, as I was saying, that it's probably this secondary margin setup here. Which we can see this guy has a margin set. And if I decrease both of these, no, that didn't help. That did not help. It's actually not those margins or this max width here. It's going to be on this guy, which is the surrounding container. We're going to start disabling rules until I figure out what's going on, and then we will add back the correct ones. That's generally how I approach these sorts of issues with layouts. There you go. Lo and behold, that was it. Okay, I think that does it. Sometimes, here's my cat again. Hi, Jet. There he goes. There's his tail. Usually means he wants something from me. Okay, so let's check the responsive view on that, which I think I might have just, what did I G for? I might have just balled that up a bit. A little tricky to tell. Yeah, looks like I might have. Oh, come on, cat. Hey, get off the keyboard. Sorry. Let's see. Some of this stuff works okay. But I think it is real tricky to tell, but I think this overlap here indicates a problem with that. And I think it has to do with that container having a width, but not a max width. Yes, no? Actually don't know here what I'm seeing. If I grab this inspector and click outside of things, that is tricky to tell. That might be a browser tools bug. It might be. I'm gonna have to test that on my phone because that seemed extremely inconsistent. Because it's actually not even always there. I'm gonna assume that's a browser tools bug, but it's worth checking. All right, so let's commit that change. Do that. And with that, I think I might end the stream for the day. we are flying along here. A lot of very interesting stuff going on in my environment here. I'm not sure what this wide scroll bar is about either. Okay, so let's wrap it up here for the day. I'll be back next week with more streaming. I might even hop on later in the week to do some more of this stuff. We are starting to tie all the things together so that this is going to feel more and more complete. Yeah, until then, thanks for hanging out. I will see you guys next Tuesday afternoon. Have a good afternoon, and catch me on Twitter at IrreverentMike. See you guys.